Hey world, this is Justin, and you are tuned to Anywhere the Needle Drops. Alright, today we have Pendle in the house. James, Jake, Anthony, and Alex of Pendle joined me at Theory One Studios recently for a chat all about the band and their origins and their music. It was a really fun time. We get into all sorts of fun stuff, including touching on mental health, which just let me take this opportunity to once again emphasize the importance of taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally. It's so important. Therapy is great. It's good for everyone, even if you're not facing a particular struggle, but especially, of course, if you are facing a particular struggle. We don't emphasize enough in this culture the importance of mental health. Going to therapy is the sign of a healthy person. I want to just point that out right there. It is so helpful. If you are struggling with something in particular, even just the regular stresses of life, or you just have areas where you think you want to grow in how you handle things, seek out therapy. We should do a much better job of elevating mental health and therapeutic resources. It should also be cheaper and easier to access, but let's remove the stigmas. Mental health, very important, and therapy is so helpful. And it's always nice to have people on the show that are willing to talk about moments in their life where they've sought that out. So anyway, Pendle is such a great band. Again, if you haven't caught them live, you need to catch them. They are really fun live, just a good old rock show. And definitely check the show notes, follow the links, see when they are going to be playing so you can catch them, and check out their tunes as well. You're going to hear their song Weekends here in a second, and then comes my interview with James, Jake, Anthony, and Alex. Pendle. Enjoy. Here's to life. Pendle in the house, sitting here at Theory One Studios in Niles. How are we all doing?
Good.
Awesome.
Doing great.
A little tired. Just got back from the Chicago area Friday night.
Yeah.
All right, you guys out
2 a.m.
gigging or?
Yeah.
Okay, where'd you play in Chicago area?
It was technically Willow Springs, so like, I don't know, 40 minutes, an hour outside of city proper, but Ashbury Coffee House.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun. It was like a basement show, but they have like a spot upstairs. It was literally like if you flip the well upside down.
Nice.
And they serve booze. So
Okay. All right.
Very punk rock.
yeah.
That was a fun experience.
I think based on the door cut, it was around 40 people, and then plus the bands and the staff. So it was like 50 people crammed into this tiny little room.
Yeah.
It felt very familiar. It was,
Yeah.
And then the other band, everybody was super nice. Like they made us feel very welcome. And there's one band in particular on the bill that was quite a bit larger than the rest of us in terms of following, and they were great. Like super chill.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. And actually, like, Reach followed up about the show today, saying some nice stuff. So, like, hopefully they'll be fun to work with in the future.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, Commit This to Memory was one of them. Dead Pedal was, yeah. And then the bigger one was Malort and Savior.
That's a great Chicago band name.
Yeah.
So,
And
okay.
they're so funny.
Yeah.
Like, they're so funny. And they're good, too. So.
Yeah. Did you guys know one of the bands on the ticket? Is that how you got on there, or did you know the venue, or how did that all come together?
It was just cold approach DMs, really. Instagram. I had been trying to set something up since December, and like literally 2 venues hit me back. Ashbury was one of them, and the dates wasn't working out at the other one. And then I went through like probably 7 or 8 bands before I finally found, because it was just us and Dead Pedal for a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to find a third one. And then I went through a few more, and then Commit This to Memory jumped on. And then they were like, hey, do you want a 4th one? We're friends with this other band that they might have a little more of a pull. And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't like think about it. And then they were like, they had Malort and Savior on, which was like, I don't know, like probably about 5-10 times the size of us.
Yeah.
Massive following.
Yeah. So
one of their songs literally has because we were listening to it on the way there.
Yeah.
My fiance, she's literally the DJ of the car on long distance travels. She's like, okay, well, oh my goodness, 300,000 listens monthly. Good Lord and Savior.
yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Amazing great musicians, great music.
Sweet. I gotta
Every single one of them.
add those to my list to check out. So that whole booking thing too. I mean, I've been like in the music world. I've been doing this show since 2012, so I've been doing it a while. But I didn't realize how crazy that booking world was until I don't know if you know who Abby Thomas is out of Goshen. She's a bud of mine. And there was a time where I was kind of helping her out with a little bit of the booking stuff, particularly like we were looking at like me jumping in and helping her with tour stuff like outside of the region. And I started realizing like the logistics and the cold calls or cold emails and all of that to it. And just the like, also the whole like, okay, I got a show here and I got a show there, but where do I find the show in between or like make that all worth its while? Like it's like a math problem almost, you know?
It's brutal, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the dates Chicago was one of the few places that had been replying to us. And even then, you know, they were like, yeah, we have these dates. And we're like, none of those work. What else can we do?
Yeah.
For months and months and months. Like, I think it took us 5 months to actually get the lineup settled to where we could actually, you know, reach back out to the venue and who was holding the date and say, we got a show.
Yeah.
So and I imagine we're going to have to figure that out for touring at some point, and that's going to be fun. But it's the sort of baby's first out-of-town booking experience on our end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people realize, but like just the logistics of it, of like location and time and all that, and making it worth your while. You know, you're spending time, spending gas, spending all that, and you know, it's there's a whole lot of pieces. Day jobs,
scheduling conflicts with dad, families,
And then if you don't know any other bands, it's like it feels almost like a dating app kind of, because you're like, hey, you know, saw your profile, like your stuff. Think you'd be a good fit for a show. I have a hold on a date at this place, et cetera, and it's either like swipe left or swipe right.
Yep.
And like, except with instead of, you know, Tinder, they don't recommend their friends afterwards whenever you're like, do you have any other bands that you think would be a good fit for us? But
I mean, it depends. Sometimes maybe, I don't know. I'm not single, so I can't say, but you know,
yeah,
I don't know. All right, so Pendle, we were just talking about my first time seeing you, which was that show at McCormick's, but you guys have been around for a little bit now. So when did you guys all form?
Yeah, we started 2024. At least with this group, I had like a Pendle like beta that was in 23. That's another story, but started actually like gigging seriously, had logos and everything, merch. That would have been March 2024. Our original lineup was Anthony on bass and Alex on guitar here, and then we had Noah Watson on drums. He also used to drum for Leatherface.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he had some stuff going on. He had to move back up to Michigan, and so we found Jake through kind of random series of events back last summer / fall.
Yeah.
Alex has his personal project, Seldom Sly, that he needed a drummer for too. And so the guy that was playing bass for that was like, I know a guy who plays drums at the church, and he's like, oh, okay.
Send this guy a few tracks. Like, here, listen to these, you know, something to practice on.
Yeah.
My dude barely had a day to practice, showed up the next day, killed it.
Yeah.
Everything's spot on. All the changes were right there. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then we kind of like looked at each other whenever Joe was talking about that. We were like, drum for Seldom Sly or for Pendle? And he was like, both?
Why not both?
Yeah. Shout out, why not both?
Shout out,
yeah, there you go, yeah.
I was under the impression I was trying out for Seldom Sly. But then, like, the day before, they were like, maybe you can try these Pendle songs, too. And they threw those at me. And I was like, okay. Didn't expect to be in 2 bands, but
yeah,
it's
surprise.
great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, so far so good. We had our first show with him at Stockroom East in November, which went well, and then McCormick's in December, where we met you. So
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's kind of the way of things in like this scene too. Is everyone's in like multiple bands, or
Right.
quite a few people are in multiple bands. That's another like thing just with the scheduling. If you're playing a local show, it's like, well, my other band's playing over here, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I have been to 2 different venues in the same evening locally for shows, and then also seen a member of a band also hop venues because their other band was playing the other venue. So just the way it rolls around here. So
I can just imagine if we do a lineup with Pendle and Seldom Sly, it's like, let's welcome Seldom Sly. And me and Jess just switch spots and be like, what's up, everyone? We're Seldom Sly.
Yeah.
And a different bassist walks on.
Yeah. Pendle, Seldom Sly, phone it in.
Shout out the previous band, dude.
Yeah. Dude, they were so good.
It was like swap hats or something, So
we've had 2 new lineups at Stockroom now, haven't we? Because our first time all together was at Stockroom, and then first time with Jake.
Yeah, that's actually right.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess we just start our new chapters at Stockroom East, apparently.
There you go. Shout out Stockroom East. They've been on here too. So, love what they're doing over there, bringing some touring acts through. And you throw in some local acts on stage too. A lot of times when they're, bringing someone through, get an opener from the local scene. And yeah, it's good for everybody. Help. Yeah. So, so there's a previous iteration of Pendle, but then what sort of led to this the 2024, version?
Honestly, like so Pendle is my kind of brainchild. Just sort of playing music growing up, homeschooled in my parents' basement, not having a ton of friends, but nothing but time on my hands. So I just had these songs, and I knew I wanted to do music. I think early 2022, I was just hitting open mics nonstop. Probably 5 nights a week. At the time, there were that many.
Yeah.
And just playing by myself, just trying to get better. And then I didn't even know any of these guys. And then through doing that, I met up with the people who pointed me to, I think I was at a McCormick's Open Jam before that ended. That's where I met Alex. Jammed with him in Toast, and I was like, oh, the stuff that he plays is so similar to the stuff that I play.
Yeah.
In fact, the very first one, it's a Phone It In song.
Phone It In song.
Because we're also in another band called Phone It In together.
Nice, okay.
Yep.
With Toast. But
yeah, it's a song called Lunch Money.
And it's very similar. to Weekends by Pendle.
Very much. It literally starts with the same note. It's the same root note, same key.
And it's like the same chord, but
Almost same chord progression. It's like uncanny how similar those two songs are. Because like he showed us, started practicing that song, and it's like, you know, that sounds very much like one of my songs. And then we like practice a Pendle song. I was like, dude, this is exactly the same. Exactly the same.
The melody lines are quite different, but like it's a similar vibe. So right away, I kind of noticed like a chemistry, and you know, we were just trying to do similar things. And then I started going to the open jam at Rocky Button, and through that I met Toast, and then solidified. I joined Phone It In. I was playing with him, and I was just trying to, because it was my project, I was like, let me find like, you know, guitar player 1, 2, 3, drummer 1, 2, 3, and then just whoever wants to learn my stuff and play gigs, you know.
Yeah.
That's how I'll do it. And then I was like, you want to be guitar player A? He's like, I'll just be your guitar player. I was like, oh, okay, perfect. And then same thing with Noah on drums, and then met Anthony through Noah. Actually, first time I met Anthony was our first Pendle practice.
Nice.
He was just like, I know a bass player. I was like, okay, great. And so there wasn't really anything behind it other than I just wanted to play music. I just really wanted to be in a band. I had been doing solo stuff for, you know, probably 4 or 5 years, just like at the Chocolate Cafe, Chicory Cafe, you know, just around downtown, just wherever you have somebody shoved in a corner with an acoustic guitar and a speaker, just playing for a couple hours. And it was fun, but like I just wanted to be in a band. My music was very, 90s, early 2000s rock inspired, layered guitar parts. Like I needed more pieces. I just loved the energy, and I couldn't really fully lean into it. In the acoustic sets, I didn't feel like. So I was always aiming towards that, and I was just trying to do it. Like I said, I had my list of like guitar player A, B, and C. And then luckily, like I didn't have to even like find B and C for anything. These guys were just like, yeah, no, this is fun. We'll do it. And we gigged pretty hard 2024, had a lot of fun. And then early 25, Noah had to move back to Michigan, and we kind of took some time off trying to figure out what we were doing. And then met Jake, and like we said, kind of hit reset. And, you know, we're kind of, it feels like 3.0 now.
Nice, yeah. So coming up in that environment, what was it that led you to just music as an interest? Like, did your parents or someone in your family play, or like what took you to grabbing a guitar or wherever you got started on?
My dad he has his master's degree in piano performance.
Oh, good. That'll do it, yeah.
Yeah, so everyone in my family, all my brothers and sisters, we all had to take piano lessons. So piano is actually my first instrument, not guitar.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But I didn't want to read music. I like fought and I kicked against classical training like as much as I could. It was just, I don't know if it was too much structure for my brain. I have no idea. I just kind of wanted to just like feel good and play music sort of thing. And then I picked up guitar when I was 14, and there was just a different life to it. Funnily enough, I started writing, like I was writing comedy songs. Not saying they were funny. I'm saying I was trying to write comedy songs. Yeah. I was trying to basically be Weird Al. I grew up pretty sheltered too, so a lot of times I knew like the Weird Al version of songs before I knew like actual for like what is it, eBay, his cover of the Backstreet Boys. Yeah. Long before I ever heard the original, which is crazy to say because that song is super old now, but that's kind of what I was doing. And then I started writing more Christian stuff, which was kind of like my realization that, oh, I can actually, because I would play it for people and they're like, oh, that's really good. And I'm like, oh, so I might actually be able to, express myself in other ways. And then, throughout high school, I sort of discovered more secular music and was like, oh, this is actually a lot of fun. Like, like pop punk and a lot of radio rock, like the Foo Fighters and Green Day. At that time, that's like every punk guitar player's, you learn
for sure
when September ends, first thing, but
that's my birthday.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I loved movie soundtracks as well. So there was always just like I loved big emotions, big movement. Like it was just this whole world that I can construct. like I said, I didn't really have a lot of friends in high school because I was homeschooled and I didn't have a lot of outlets for creativity necessarily. So I kind of had to just find them. And music was a big one. Like I spent hours composing soundtracks to movies that didn't exist in my head, and this little crappy little 80s synth keyboard with like strings and trumpet tones and everything. And I would basically write my own like Hans Zimmer stuff, you know. But that became the blueprint for what I ended up writing in the rock space whenever I got to that point. So I would say 2017 or so, I found some guys that I was playing with, more of a garage band. We gigged a couple times, once at McCormick's and then a couple cafes, but it never really went anywhere. And then we had some differences and that split up. And then once I got out of college and the pandemic was over, I was like, I really want to do this. And I had no idea what was out there. I had not engaged with the scene in any real way previous to that, till like 21, 22. And that's when I started open micing and so on and so forth, met these guys, and then Pendle happened.
Nice, yeah. Alex, what about you? How'd you find your way to music?
Oh, geez. I don't even know. I felt like it happened by accident, literally. Middle school, I guess. You know, I grew up in Italy, and I heard so many cool stories here in the American schools. You get, you know, music classes and all that. You can learn whatever instrument you want, from what I heard. In Italy, all they got is recorders.
Yeah.
And man, I tried to learn theory. I was so bad at it. I still am. I know not a single note of when I play guitar. I go with sheer passion while I play. But you know,
It works. I mean, I've seen you play. It works.
Man,
so.
if it works, it works, right?
Yeah.
But in middle school, you know, I'll have this recorder. I'll never take the assignment seriously. Never play what I was supposed to play. I just play everything random, whatever sounded good, and you know, it was fun. Then I started a band somewhere in high school. I got a guitar, picked up a guitar, really beat up electric guitar. Learned lots of Green Days, like every tried and true, you know, punk rock musician, I guess. Little band, 3-piece band. It went nowhere, unfortunately. We just had a lot of fun in high school. Then after that, kind of missed that whole feeling of music, and thank God I had an iPad and GarageBand to just, like, you know, push all the creativity somewhere, because I was just, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's an ADHD thing, but when you're studying or in college or at work, it's like when you're not supposed to think anything but focusing on what you're doing, it's when you think about music, like, oh shoot, now I gotta step away, take my phone and blurt out some melodies in it. And yeah, I just started doing stuff like that until I translated it somehow into GarageBand. And funny that you mentioned Hans Zimmer. Literally, one of my Facebook memories was when I made Time by Hans Zimmer all in GarageBand. And it's crazy. Like, I guess, you know, where did all this ignite from? GarageBand, ladies and gentlemen. That's literally it. That's literally it. No knowledge in theory, because my ADHD did not allow me at all to focus about any of that. And honestly, that's literally it. Recorded a bunch of stuff in GarageBand, did lots of covers, then started doing my own thing. I thought, this is fun. Let's see if I can write lyrics on it. And I barely ever can. I can structure, record stuff within 2 hours with instruments and everything. But when it comes to lyricism, really, like one song. I think I have one song with good lyrics on it, and the rest of them, they're so and so. Compared to James, James is a monster lyricist. Mine are more like, you know, like very novel stuff for me. There's nothing really studied through. But
Nah, you got some good stuff, man.
yeah,
Seldom Sly's got some good lines.
it's that one song.
It's that one song.
With the good lyrics on it. But what's it called? Three Oaks, Michigan. That's where I had my first band in the U.S., in the States. And 4-piece band. I was just a lead singer. Scratch that, 5-piece band. I forgot about Trevor. He was a rhythm and guitar.
Don't forget about Trevor.
Trevor
Can't
Erasure
forget
right
Trevor,
there. Come on
tall
now.
guy, great guitar player. Shout out to Trevor and Three Oaks. But yeah, we went to Three Oaks, Acorn Theater. We did that one show, and that was like a tryout for me. They gave me 4 songs to test out and practice vocally, and I did that. And after that, we did a handful of gigs, but we did one wedding, one gig at XAR 505 in St. Joseph, Michigan.
Oh wow, Czars.
Man,
That's
Czars,
going back. Yeah.
Right? With the freaking underground UV light type of
Yep, like you're like
venues.
definitely this is a fire trap. We're all dead if something goes wrong in this basement. Yeah.
Exactly. You're way too hot and somewhat too tipsy to even care about that. You're just like having the time of your life. But that ended up, it just ended. Never went anywhere either. Then Seldom Sly. That was the thing. How some people get inspired by certain events in their life to write music. Every single song that I compose somehow is just triggered by a sad event, a breakup, depression, failing college, and all that. I try to write happy music. I just can't. They sound happy, but lyrically, they're very, very sad.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, but I try to compose again everything myself. Just have this image in my mind with all the layers of guitars, bass, drums, piano, synthesizer. I know that in a band setting would not make sense because where am I gonna find a synthesizer player now? But after composing everything, I just record, keep it like that. And for the longest time, I've been looking for band members that can fit those roles.
Yeah.
And freaking hard. I mean,
Similar idea to Pendle, like I was saying before.
yeah, it's exactly why me and James, our workflow, just go. How do you call this? I know how to do it, but I do not know how to say it in English.
Just like
It just goes together. We
hand
just
in
go
hand,
hand
like,
to hand. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
It just goes hand to hand. Our workflow goes hand to hand. He comes up with an idea, I just layer something on it, it ends up working. Same thing for Seldom Sly. I had my songs and I just all recorded and ready, but then I have them kind of put their input, little flavor into it, and very, very. My music, I guess, is very, very inspired, like Franz Ferdinand type of thing, Green Day a lot, which made it very easy for me to just join Pendle because like. Yeah, this sounds like stuff that I listened to or played to back in my childhood. So joining Pendle is just such a breeze. Yeah.
When we're working on new stuff, very rarely am I like, play something else. Whenever it comes to because sometimes like there were a couple songs where I was like I had specific things I wanted played, but not most of the work like
It's
we
stuff
made
that I
up
would've played
together.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's stuff that I would have played anyway.
Yeah, and it just works really, really well. I rarely have to be like, this is what I'm going for. He just gets it, and it usually, like 95, 99% of the time is like right what.
Yeah.
Yeah, he totally gets the vision. So,
It's the beauty of collaboration right there,
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you two in particular are very complementary to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the idea because it's not like technical stuff. It's pretty easy, like radio friendly, like catchy melodies. At least I try. And then I'm not trying to be, we're not a jam band. I'm not trying to be the greatest guitar player or singer. It's just more about. It's always been about the songwriting for me.
Yeah.
So finding that there's a ton of musicians around here that like they've got they're so good. But they would be so bored playing in Pendle.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge to find someone who was good, but also like this is what tickles my brain at the same time, and I want to be here and be a part of it. So I was really grateful to not have to like search high and low for that aspect of it because the composition is more important to me than most anything else, and so to immediately have a guy who just like got it and was already kind of playing the same things was huge.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake, so it sounds like you came here through a church connection. What's your background in music? Was it through the church or was it somewhere else, or how'd you get into it?
No, me and my brother grew up on punk rock together when we were playing like Tony Hawk games,
Nice.
Guitar Hero, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my mom got remarried to a punk rocker who really encouraged it. He's just like a really big guy, big punk rock guy. He showed up and he was wearing all these chains and black and all this stuff, and we just, we weren't scared of him because it was just normal.
Yeah.
So I was encouraged. And then when I got into high school, I was going to the AJ's in Variant Springs, and there was like they had open mic night, but I didn't go to that. I always went to the karaoke thing, and I would just like draw and like pretend like I was gonna go sing, and then I wouldn't do it because I was too scared. But there was a guy that went up there and was like, he was singing really well and was doing these really cool screams. And they announced like, oh, this is a band called Sleep Safe. He's the guitarist. You should go to their show at this place. But I was too young, so I just went up and I was like, hey, I like how you sing. Like, can I get a CD? Because he had some CDs and he gave me one. And I fell in love with like local music then. And I ended up finding a free show down here at the amphitheater. Fifth and Sick was playing.
Nice.
He posted, the singer that posted like a playlist that said like unsigned talent, and I found Autumn Academy on there.
Okay.
And I just blew up. I'm obsessed now.
It's crazy.
Everything local.
I mean, we have so many great local acts, and like you're talking about finding someone that had that kind of connection, you know, for what you're doing. But that's like a thing about what we have in our local scene, because there's so much of everything and like so good. I mean, I rarely like, I used to, when I was coming up, I'm a little bit older than you guys. I used to drive to Chicago like multiple times a week to go catch a good show. And now it's like, I can just like drive 5 minutes from my house and catch a great show. And like, and sometimes it's like, which show do I go to? There's a couple of great shows, you know?
Well, because they all happen on the same weekend for some reason.
Yeah. Yep. Anthony, same question for you. How'd you get started in music?
Yeah, so my dad plays bass and drums. The big one for me is probably my grandpa was a drummer. And I remember waking up every Saturday to him in the basement playing like Led Zeppelin and a lot of classic rock and things like that. But I think the big thing is that, especially growing up as a young boy, a lot of emotions, behaviors aren't necessarily safe or they're hard to express. Music doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I remember getting into a fight with my siblings when I was younger, really young. Younger than me, but they're twins, so I was outnumbered. And my grandpa just took me, sat me down at his kit. I could barely reach the pedals, and gave me the, like, simple instruction. Just do the basic, like, boom, tsh, boom, boom, tsh. And I was like, okay, fine. And I started doing it, and I'm like, when can I stop? Can I do something else? He's like, no, just keep doing that. And I left that thinking, wow, this is dumb. I don't care about this. But then I found myself kind of sneaking down and playing on his kit and playing on my dad's kit. And so for me, it was that music doesn't care. If you've got an emotion, it's already there somewhere.
Yeah.
And if it's not, you have the path to put it there. And so I played on their kits just kind of growing up. Got my own kit at 16, played with that for a while. As life started to life and things just got busier, I was like, damn, I need something that I'm not going to wake up the whole neighborhood if I just want to hang out and play for a little bit. And so that's when I started playing bass. I've never been taught. I mean, my grandpa's sitting me down. It's probably the extent of lessons in terms of music. So from there, it's mostly just been meeting folks that have that same interest and just kind of doing it with them.
Nice. That's awesome. All right, so Pendle. First of all, where does the name Pendle come from?
That is the name of the road I grew up on.
I was wondering if it was the street. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I every once in a while I drive past Pendle and I'm like, I wonder. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's really just a personal thing. I've been like, I was wondering. Every
Nope,
time I
one
drive
and
by
the
there.
same.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Nice.
I went through a couple iterations on the name, and like Pendle Road sounds like a country band.
Yeah.
Pendle House sounds like a Christian band. So then someone was like, what about just Pendle? And I was like, I don't know. I balked with it for like a while, and I was like, you know what? Just send it. And I couldn't imagine it being called anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, it is great because it's not immediately obvious what it is.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a little local reference, but it's awesome.
Sounds like something you don't really know what it is.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's like it has the similar. It's like a hanging, like swinging object, like similar to a pendulum.
Yeah.
But it's not really a word that people use. I'm not really sure where how that street got named, but
It's like some household object that we don't use anymore, some tool or something like that. Yeah.
Initially, I thought it was Pendle.
yeah, a lot of people do that. Pendel instead of Pendel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's really funny is there's a realty company Pendl around here.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
And I know that guy.
Oh, do
I
you?
used to. Yeah, I went to Christian school. I was in the same class as his sister, and then he was a couple grades above me, and I think he married someone from my class eventually. But yeah, so similar name, and I'm always like, man, I know, I feel like they know about us, and they're like, man, what is this?
You guys got the collab. You know, he's got to book you
Yeah.
for the open house or something.
Right.
You know? So,
Just get a big sticker of our logo and put it over every single sign. No, that'd be vandalizing.
yeah, that would be.
I would never do that.
We
Wink,
do
wink.
not promote that. No,
No.
not at
We
all.
encourage you to do that.
Yeah, if it happens, you know. But yeah. All right, so you guys have been putting out a couple of singles recently.
Yeah.
So what is it? Make It Up was the most recent. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we building toward an album by chance?
An EP,
or-
yeah.
Okay. All right.
We've been sitting on it for a while. Noah leaving kind of complicated the timeline. I had also some stuff to work out in my own head about like what the right way to do things was, and then realized there isn't a right way to do things, and I was just overthinking it. So right now we're working on a few things. We've been going over a shot plan for music video for our song Slingshot. And then I want to do a video EP, just like 3 tracks for YouTube, just of us playing with headphones on and stuff like that. And then also I'm getting some animations made for social media to coincide with, because it's really about, Pendle's vibe is really about like 80s, 90s nostalgia, some inner child stuff, some just like trying to hold on to, you know, joy and innocence in life, where it feels impossible to nowadays.
Yeah.
And so just always feeling that tension between how do I keep love and joy front and center, and just, you know, my people, in spite of everything that's going on and the struggles of life and growing up and so on and so forth. So there's we do with that, there's like a lot of video game references, like we have the arcade machine on our album art.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get some like 16-bit video game graphic style animations done for social media to just put up, so we can really push those songs for the entire EP whenever it's out.
Yeah.
So in the next couple, we don't have any dates for anything yet, but in the next couple months, you'll be starting to see more and more of that stuff become more public,
Nice.
than just behind the scenes in the planning stages. So
Yeah. I love that concept of like that love and play sort of a thing. I feel like there's, I don't know if like a revolution is the right term to use, but like I feel like there is a little bit of a pushback on that in various parts of life where people are trying to find a way to find that fun again, that joy again, and really like this concept of adults, you know, adults finding play again in their lives. I'm a member of Dance Society, and that's been a huge like growth for me. I was in a different place in life a few years ago, and I don't know, kind of lost some of that, I think, and went through some really rough times. Some stuff happened in my world, and I came across that as it was forming, and like the whole thing there is, you know, to play and have fun, not for the sake of like necessarily being the best at a thing, but just to do it for the joy of it.
Yeah.
And I see that in so many places. Again, talking like our local creative scene, whether it's music or some other form of art, or even just anything that anyone does, like that idea of play and joy. You know, I feel like we're all a little trying to shrug off some of the weight of the world a little bit,
Yeah.
and get back to that.
I think a lot of us too, like a lot of people have had parents or grandparents or something like where adulthood was modeled to be this very serious, very intense, very you know, soul-sucking thing. Like life was terrible. It was just constant work. It was like, but I make the sacrifice for my family. And I think a lot of us are like, why does it have to be this
Yeah.
way? You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be this way at all. And you know, you can see that just the way that people, you know, react to current events, and you know, the authoritarian nature of the current government and all of those things. Like there's a lot of, as you know, we feel like we're kids still, but it's sort of like, why do we have to give all of that up? Like we can still pay our bills, and we can still be responsible without, sort of peacocking about how grown up we are. And then what you do is you just, because you think that's what adults do and are. You think that you're teaching the younger generation a valuable lesson by being a complete asshole to them.
Yeah.
And so it's just trickle down suck, and so a lot of people, my generation, especially and younger, like taking mental health more seriously and trying to find ways to keep that joy and that play in life, because it's so important. Like, otherwise, you work yourself to the bone and you get all this wealth and status if you're lucky. And then for what? Like, did you have any fun? Did you enjoy the ride at all?
Yeah.
It's a battle I've fought, over and over in my life. So that's kind of where the music comes from, is like I just wanna have fun. I just want to exist. I just want to, like, why is my existing, why is my joy, why are none of these things enough for anyone? In a world of performance and productivity, et cetera. So we really try to create that space for people, then just let it be what it is, not trying to be the greatest at anything, really, just sort of trying to just have a good time. Like, you're safe here, you're welcome here, we love you. It means so much that we're looking at you from the stage and you're looking back at us and singing along and stuff like that. So
that's kind of like how the music for Seldom Sly is kind of about, like, as me as a Bengali kid born in Bangladesh, go to Italy, and now to fit in a whole society of people that it's mostly white people. I was one of the few brown kids in that whole universe, right? So I'm trying to fit in there. Then you make it to the U.S., you try to fit in there too. But then when you write my music, it's like it's the only place, it's the only media where I do not have to fit in. It's just like myself, wherever I am, whatever existence I was made from. It's right here through my lyrics and my music. But yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah, I love it. We need so much more of that. I mean, and especially, I think all of us have lived through now, like, multiple economic crises and pandemics. And when I was I was in this thing for the longest time about how, back in the recession that happened, almost 20 years ago now, like, everyone had done like the right, safe thing, the adult thing, and gotten that office job or whatever, and then lost everything anyway, because people on Wall Street were screwing around. And then, so it's like, let's turn toward joy and fun, and we can still take care of ourselves and our families and enjoy life, Yeah. It's a good message. Everyone needs to take that a little more, I think. So, all right. So an EP, no timeline yet. Is it? Are you still in the process of even figuring out the songs for it? What's gonna be there, or
the EP's done?
Okay, so you know what it's gonna look like. It sounds like okay. Yeah.
It's the accompanying materials that we're working on.
Sure. Yeah.
This year, I had I had a little bit of a mental health crisis earlier this year and had to take some time off work, and I've been in therapy since January, and that slowed some things down. Alex is getting married in September, so he's just working and saving his money and
getting married, getting a new house. Affording the wedding. Holy cow. It's so expensive. So it's part of me too that just like delayed the whole process, because like scheduling conflicts. I'm taking everything a lot more full time, and when I'm not working, I'm like taking care of wedding and housing and all that.
Yeah.
So
and plus, when you're like making commission and your big days are the weekends, it's like local shows. There's no problem, but like whenever we're trying to travel, it becomes a little more difficult. So, but at the same time, there were some things that just happened in our personal lives that kind of made it like, it's fine if we're a little slower this year.
Yeah.
We'll get the EP out, and then I'm going to be a lot more proactive getting shows put together in town and out of town for next year, so that we can like really push the EP whenever we have all of the materials that I've been trying to get together. Like it feels like we had one of the guy working on the animations like just had an accident and like physical injury.
Oh man.
So like it's like every step of the way it's been like pulling teeth, but at the same time, like I said, because of our personal lives, it's like we could only move so fast anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of these days we'll get our stuff together and act like a real band. But
That's right. I think there's something to be said for letting things happen in their time too. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had some kind of in one of these interviews, some kind of last minute. I mean, even us, I think it took us a while to figure out like a date that worked for this. But like one of these, the scheduling didn't work out, and we had to reschedule several times or whatnot. I even remember having one where. The recording was lost or something like that. And so like a lot of redoing, but then it always seems like when that happens, like the recording that got lost, that was so much better than the first one we did anyway. So it was like, I mean, I'm a pretty practical, like sciencey guy. I don't believe in a lot of like meant to be kind of stuff. Well, I say that, but I think I actually probably do now. My girlfriend's laughing as she's listening to this. But like, I think sometimes those things do work out that way for the best, So yeah, when it's time for the EP, it'll be time for the EP, and we'll all be here ready to listen to it, So
Yeah.
it's yeah. So with this formation of Pendle, has the process of creation changed at all, or what does the songwriting process look like for the four of you?
It's still pretty much me coming up with an idea and being like, guys, let's figure this out. A lot of times. I'll have a pretty specific vibe, but I won't tell them what to play necessarily. I'll just be like, these are the chords. And then sometimes it sort of just stays that way, or other times we'll completely reinvent just because, whether by accident or I just don't feel like we're hitting that mark of this is finished or this is the song is ready to be played.
The time at the studio definitely defined that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if anybody checked our live thing that we have on
live at
platforms at
Blystock. Yeah.
Like that's on the Bandcamp, right? Yeah.
This is like how most of those songs kind of started as, and I think they were pretty solid. But then once we went down to the studio and we recorded it, and we gotta thank Brandon and Gary, by the way, from Autumn Academy, lead singer.
Yeah.
He's the guy who made all our stuff into the delicious EP that's about to come out. Like, if it wasn't for him, there's so many creases that we would never knew were there.
Yeah.
He helped us iron them all out. He helped us with the creativity part too. Like, how about you change this to this? If you hear Slingshot, that church lady screaming at the end, that's me. I would have never done it if it wasn't for Brandon telling me, Alex, give me some church lady. That I think we create. So, I mean, he comes up with a root note chord progression. We layer on top of it. And we play it live here and there, and it sounds fantastic. But I think as soon as we start recording it, there's always something changing. And most of the time for the better.
Yeah. Brandon really helped us clean up a lot of things. He was like, why are you guys both playing in the same spot on guitar? Like, you're just making noise. Or he'd be like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? And it's like, well, sometimes it's because that's just how I always played it when it was just me. And so I was used to making all of the noise. And while I had pulled back a little bit to allow some room for him, I had even more room to, free up.
Yeah.
And stuff like this, and having a producer that like demands that perfection and though wants it to be as pristine as possible, that'll make you grow up really quick as a band. That studio experience is because it has to be perfect, it has to be, or whatever definition of perfect, but as long as we're just removing anything that we're doing or that we've been doing live on stage that would be an obstacle or take a listener out of the studio track experience. And so he was a huge help in doing that for us. And then having gone in and done that, coming out, now our process, it feels a lot cleaner because we kind of we have the main points of like what to avoid, where, we have a better understanding of what works. Like our sound is very, not like specific, but I've had some people tell me like this sounds like Pendle has a sound. Like there's a sound to what we've been doing, and it's consistent across all of our tracks. And Slingshot is more blues rock. Weekends is more like pop punk, radio rock, more 2000s. And then we have another song that kind of leans like 80s pop, but with, the crunchy 90s guitar sound. But even throughout all of the, genre leaning we do, it comes back to just like that big guitar sound. And so finding where we all fit in that space it's become a lot easier just because we've been playing a couple years now, and then like I said, and like Alex said, the studio really teaches you a lot about what works and what doesn't, and what is clean and what isn't, and whenever you can hear the difference, it really you never forget it. And so we just sort of, I'll just be like, here's an idea, and Alex is like, all right, and I'm like, I never would have thought of that, but I love it, keep it. And then same thing, like Anthony, Jake, like we both, sometimes I'm like, I want more of this or that, but there's not really any, like, I'm completely lost as to what we're trying to do here. So yeah, I mean, the process has, I think, stayed the same, but have been refined through our gigging, and then like noticing the difference, like Alex said, between the live EP and then the studio tracks is...
Because you're on the stage, just have fun, you add some color to it. Even sometimes I don't play the song like as originally intended. Here and there might no longer a little bit more.
Sure, yeah.
But when we're in the studio setting, I feel like we all ask each other, like, are you sure you want to keep this in the track?
Mm-hmm.
Is this where you want to keep it permanently in the song, like to be known as? So I think as a studio, we just give it like the most pristine, purest aspect of the song.
Yeah.
Then when we're live on stage, we might bring back some things that we used to do before the track. Maybe
Sure,
something
yeah.
new that comes up. I guess that it gives you the difference of what to enjoy from the studio setting, studio song, and studio made music, and what to expect and enjoy in a live show. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna get the same experience either or,
Yeah.
And also,
yeah.
also like reaching that point where we're like, okay, now this is how the song goes from here on out. Like that's
That
kind
too.
of,
Yeah.
when it comes to me, like coming up with an idea before I show it to them, like I'm usually looking for a feeling or usually a feeling, actually. Like there's usually an emotion that I'm trying to create or express, and I don't have like an official test, but usually it'll be like I'll have an idea. I'm like, okay, this feels like this. I feel like I've got something good because it gives me that emotion. Like me as a songwriter, it gives me that emotion. Something is resonating here that I really like. And so if I can come back to it, the next day and then the next day, and I still feel that, and in fact, I feel even more engaged and inspired to add more, or like, oh, this could go this way or this way. That's when I know that I think I've got a good idea.
Yeah.
I do have some strict rules about, like, if it sounds too much like something that's already out, I'm like, I don't care how much I like this. We're not releasing it.
Something that you've already released, or something that like another band is doing,
Both.
or both? Okay.
Both.
All
Yeah.
right,
Like if there's I had an idea a few years ago. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I was like, oh, this is just free falling. And I was like, well, I either scrap it or I just turn it into a cover of Free Fallin', which is what I ended up doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to be pretty strict about that, just because I want it to be fresh.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it to be just like we write these 90s rock songs and they just sound like, it's like yeah, this is just Green Day Jr., this is just Jimmy Eat World Jr., whatever. Like I want it to feel fresh while also, really, cashing in on that nostalgia that we have.
Yeah.
From the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So whenever I feel good that I've passed all of those tests, that's when I'm like, hey guys, here's a new thing. And then sometimes I'll rediscover stuff that I've had for years and I'm like, oh, this could be Pendle.
Right.
And then find out, yeah, it can, or no, it can't, So.
Yeah.
All I heard was you're holding out on a Free Fallin' cover.
Is that how you came up with the Rocket Man cover?
No. Oh, yeah. So the Rocket
Which
Man
is
cover,
great, by the way. Yeah,
thank
love
you.
That. Yeah.
that was consistently shouted out by people at our shows, more so than our originals, which hurts my heart a little bit. But it's also like I love that cover. That was so when I was playing open mics, like I was saying before, I was trying to challenge myself and add a new song a month, just from artists that I'm playing guitar. Elton John is pretty piano driven, like, but why not? I'm like, well, let me just learn the chords. Maybe I'll try to just like replicate what he's doing on piano but guitar. But the more I played it, the more I was like, I can kind of turn it into this blues rock thing. And so I started singing that, and people liked it. Generally, it's open mic, so it's like it's not, nobody's really listening that seriously. But whenever Pendle became a band, I was like, guys, here's a cover I want to do, and we play it most of the time. I think there's been 1 or 2 shows total that we haven't played it in favor of another song.
Yeah.
Because part of that is because as we were branching out into new places, like they haven't heard it, so yeah, we're gonna have that on the set.
Sure, yeah.
But whenever it's like, the Rocky Button for like the 10th time, we might opt for a different cover or something like that, because most of the time those people have already heard it, but then they'll be like, why didn't you play Rocket Man?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just trying to reinvent it, and I think it worked out really well. It became that bridge in between, like Slingshot being more blues rock, and then Weekends Make It Up being more pop punk, pop rock. So I don't know, just trying stuff and just having fun with it, and letting them do their thing, because I'm not an expert. I'm just grateful that they like being here enough to keep coming to practice.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's a fun one. We really people really get into that one.
Yeah, it's a good time. If you're listening out there and you haven't seen Pendle live, remedy that quick, and get on the Bandcamp and get the other songs there. Speaking of, though, do we have some summer shows in the works then? What's the rest of the year look like for you guys?
Right now, we're just trying to get these projects done, the music video EP, and then before you know it, it'll be September, and then we'll all be at his wedding.
My wedding probably.
Yeah, all
But
right.
once that's over, we'll
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
we'll have
And
a lot.
congratulations on therapy too. Listen,
yeah.
huge proponent of therapy. So huge proponent.
It's been very helpful. Yeah. I feel like I've shed so much just yuck off me in the last several months. It's been probably one of the hardest years of my life so far from that aspect, but it's every single time I have to like go through and like process something difficult, I always come out feeling lighter and more myself. So
yeah,
it's been, the proof is in the pudding, I guess, whatever that means. Have some pudding and find out. But yeah, no, summer shows, we just played the only one we had on the books. I'm talking to some people about maybe another one at the end of June, one in July. Nothing official yet, but right now, like I said, those other projects are the main priority, and until we're ready to release the EP, the shows, they only have so much utility.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're still fun to do, but like there's no point in sort of oversaturating when we have nothing to like promote or offer or anything, unless it's a completely new market or new area.
And to be fair, it's like we always keep the doors open for opportunities. So whenever our shows does show up, we're always gonna take that chance, especially if it's like nothing's saturated already. We don't want to oversaturate the scene even more. But it's like if we get the chance for like a good opportunity, we'll take it.
sure.
And we always try to keep our band pages up to date. Is the next show coming up, and so on and so on.
Yep. Yeah, so like if people reach out to us and want us to jump on the bill, like most of the time we'll be like, yeah, as long as we can be there. But I haven't been actively setting anything up. I've been more trying to coordinate the behind the scenes stuff that we've been trying to get done this year.
Yeah.
But there will be more Pendle shows this year.
Sweet. Okay.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to the EP when that comes around.
So are we.
Yeah.
We've been sitting on it for like over a year now.
Yeah, it's time to get it done.
And poor Jake over here isn't even the drummer on it.
Oh, no.
So he's so ready for us to drop that and move on.
Get on to the
and
next thing.
record.
Hey, I
Yeah.
have it, so since I'm a fan of music, I get to listen to it whenever I want.
Yeah.
He even like said something that embarrassed me. He was like, "I noticed that this was a SoundCloud."
Yeah,
I noticed the views on the SoundCloud went up. You've been listening to our songs. It's like, dude, I listen to them like every day.
Because like I just had it on a private playlist on SoundCloud just for, to catch him up on like how the songs go, and then other people. I'm pretty selective about who hears it, but yeah, I was like, our views jumped like a ton, like overnight, and I was like, Jake's been practicing. He's been practicing. It's good.
That's what you want. That's what you want. So, all right. Well, Pendle. Everyone, check out Pendle for when shows get announced. Get on the Bandcamp. There's songs out there. Check them out.
We're mainly active on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's Pendle, PENDLE.band on Instagram. We're on Facebook too. That's pretty much just a clone of Instagram. And then we have a TikTok account, but I haven't been very active on there, at least not until we have the EP out and have...
Yeah.
Because TikTok's kind of like, it's more finding a new audience rather than like putting stuff out to your followers.
Yeah.
We're all boomers anyways.
Yeah. No. I'm still on MySpace, so...
Oh, wow. Is that still around?
I don't know. I'm not on MySpace.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember Friendster, so that's, you know, that's...
So
yeah.
I remember Google Plus.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a thing for a minute.
Got on MySpace when I got grounded.
You want...
Old dudes talking about the internet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, check out Pendle. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do, and thanks for hanging out. So listen to Pendle, everybody. You have been listening to Anywhere the Needle Drops, a product of Red Chuck Productions. Keep up on new episodes, live events, various creations, and anything else we've got going on over at redchuckproductions.com or by visiting us on social media at Red Chuck Productions. Special thanks to Hero Jr. for our theme music. You can check them out over at herojrmusic.com. That's HEROJRMUSIC.com. And a big shout out to the crew over at Theory One Studios for sound duties and so much more. You can check them out over at theoryoneproductions.com. Also, thank you to Earthworks Audio for outfitting the Red Chuck Studio. Check them out at earthworksaudio.com. Please make sure to support all of our guests by visiting their website, Bandcamps, social media, buying merch, and going to shows. Give musicians and artists your money. We'll be back at you with the next episode. Until then, thank you for your time. Here's to life.